The Jubilee weekend in Selma, Alabama commemorates the events of Bloody Sunday in 1965, when foot soldiers for voting rights put their bodies on the line in an effort to march to Montgomery, Alabama to call for the passage of critical voting rights legislation. The 1965 march and the Jubilee commemorations of that effort are this annual reminder of how much the work continues, the march continues. We are still fighting today to protect and reinforce the full protections of the Voting Rights Act that those foot soldiers championed 58 years ago. We are 10 years past the Shelby County v. Holder decision, which gutted key, important, proactive provisions of the Voting Rights Act. We are still fighting to restore that hope and those protections in our policy at the federal level. We are fighting in the courts right now, awaiting decisions from the Supreme Court about whether or not Black voters in Alabama, in the Black Belt, will be fairly represented in Congress. My hope is that this generation can give those foot soldiers the full vision that they had marched for and fought for, that we can restore the full protections of the Voting Rights Act. When we look at the power of those individual foot soldiers who still live to this day and come to Selma each year to share their stories and be in community and inspire the rising generation, we have an opportunity to just take a few steps in their shoes to make some type of civic engagement commitment. Whether that is going to your public library and taking out a book on voting rights in Selma and that march to Montgomery, whether that is calling up your representatives and pushing them to advance voting rights reforms and to restore the full protections of the Voting Rights Act, whether that is going to vote in every election. Those are all discrete and separate steps that you can take and that are just one step along that path to really embracing the spirit of Selma and honoring the promise of Selma.